Welcome back to High Stakes. Elevate your betting game by hitting that subscribe button and ensure you never miss out on our daily content. Want exclusive access to premium betting picks? Join our Patreon. Links are waiting for you in the comment section below. Stay ahead of the game with High Stakes. In today's video, we're diving into expert predictions for a thrilling slate of upcoming matchups. We'll cover everything from Coastal Carolina taking on Marshall to Michigan State squaring off with Illinois. Plus, we'll break down key games like Florida International, FIU, versus Jacksonville State, Florida Atlantic, FAU, versus Temple, and Syracuse against California. Other exciting matchups on the horizon include Sam Houston State versus Kennesaw State, Penn State versus Purdue, South Florida, USF versus Charlotte, Louisville versus Stanford, Oregon State versus Air Force, and Virginia versus Notre Dame. Stay tuned for a detailed analysis of each game as we explore what's to come on the gridiron. In an intriguing Sun Belt matchup, the Marshall Thundering Herd are poised to take on Coastal Carolina, with both teams presenting compelling storylines heading into this game. Marshall has been a dominant force this season, with a potent ground game averaging 5.5 yards per carry, ranking 10th nationally. Their rushing attack has been a key to their success, and their defense, while allowing 194.8 passing yards per game and 1,617 rushing yards on the season, still holds up with solid stats. The Thundering Herd rank 32nd nationally in defense, limiting opponents to just 58.5% completion and only 1.2 passing touchdowns per game. Their ability to control both sides of the ball makes them a confident pick for this matchup. At 4-1 against the spread this season, and 7-4 against the spread at home since the start of 2023, Marshall has proven their consistency and strong home field advantage. In contrast, Coastal Carolina has struggled defensively, allowing 5 yards per carry and 7.9 yards per pass play, which places them among the worst in the nation. Their defense has been porous, ranking 109th in third down conversion defense, 45.61%, and they have struggled to contain opposing offenses. With a 4-5 record against the spread overall and just 1-3 on the road, the Chanticleer's inconsistency this season has raised doubts about their ability to cover the spread in this matchup. Given Marshall's strong defensive performance and explosive offense, along with Coastal Carolina's defensive issues, betting on Marshall to cover the minus 8.5 spread seems like a wise choice for this late-season clash. Prédiction: Marshall moins 8.5 points. As for the total, both teams have shown a tendency to hit the over in recent weeks. Coastal Carolina has surpassed the posted point total in 2 of their last 3 games, while Marshall has done so in 2 of their last 3 games as well. With the Thundering Herd's dynamic offense and Coastal Carolina's ability to put up points despite defensive struggles, expect a high-scoring, competitive game. Prediction: over 56 points. In this American Athletic Conference AAC matchup, the Temple Owls, 2-7, host the Florida Atlantic Owls, 2-7, at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia. Both teams have faced challenges this season, but recent developments suggest Temple may have the upper hand. Team analysis: Florida Atlantic, FAU the Owls have been struggling, particularly on defense, allowing an average of 43.0 points over their last 4 games. Offensively, they are set to start backup quarterback Cason Weissman due to a season-ending injury to starter Cam Fancher. FAU Sports: Temple, while also conceding 36.8 points per game in their previous 4 outings, Temple's defense has shown slight improvement compared to FAU. Offensively, they have averaged 20.0 points in their last 4 games, indicating potential for growth. Prediction: given FAU's defensive struggles and the uncertainty at quarterback, Temple is favored to secure a win and snap their losing streak. Total points prediction: both teams have underperformed offensively, with Temple averaging 20.0 points in their last 4 games and FAU's offense facing challenges with a backup quarterback. Considering these factors, the total points are expected to stay under 51.5. Final predictions: Temple Owls to win, under 51.5 total points. In this Big Ten matchup, Illinois is poised to bounce back after suffering back-to-back losses and should come out on top against Michigan State. Illinois has the superior quarterback play, with Luke Altmaier leading the offense and a much stronger rushing attack led by Josh McCray. In contrast, Michigan State's offense has been a major struggle, averaging under 20 points per game and ranking 109th in rushing, with limited success in the passing game as well. The Spartans are expected to have a tough time keeping up. Illinois also has a solid track record at home, going 3-2-1 against the spread in home games this season. Prediction: Illinois fighting Illini -3 points. This game is expected to be a low-scoring affair given Michigan State's offensive struggles and Illinois' tendency to play in games with fewer points. Michigan State's defense has kept them in games, but their offense hasn't been able to put up enough points to win consistently. Illinois has gone under the total in 6 of their last 7 games when the line is set at 47 points or more, and Michigan State has seen the under hit in 3 of 4 games with totals over 48 points. Prediction: under 47.5 points. In this Mountain West showdown, Hawaii comes into the game as a -2.5 point favorite against Utah State, and I'm backing the Rainbow Warriors to cover the spread. Hawaii has shown improvement, winning 2 of their last 3 games, with their only loss coming by a narrow margin against a strong UNLV team. On the other hand, Utah State is struggling, coming off a 3-touchdown loss and with just 1 FBS win all season. Hawaii quarterback Braden Shager has been on fire, throwing for 3 touchdowns in back-to-back games, and he faces one of the worst defenses in the country. Utah State's defense has allowed 45-plus points in 6 of 8 games against FBS opponents this season, making it tough to see them slowing down Shager and the Rainbow Warriors. Hawaii's defense has stepped up recently and should be able to limit Utah State's Spencer Petras enough to secure a win by at least 3 points. Prediction: Hawaii -2.5 points. As for the total, I'm taking the over of 60.5 points in this matchup. Utah State has been involved in several high-scoring games, including some with totals well into the 90s, and they've cleared 60.5 in 5 of their last 6 games. Their defense has been porous, allowing 62 points in a game earlier this season, and Hawaii should easily score 30 to 40 points. Utah State has also been putting up over 32 points per game in their last 6 contests, and while Hawaii's defense has improved recently, they still have their vulnerabilities. This game has all the makings of a high-scoring affair. Prediction: over 60.5 points. In this matchup between Syracuse and California, Syracuse's efficient passing game gives them a strong chance to keep things competitive. Led by quarterback McCord, who has a 64% completion rate, Syracuse is well-equipped to exploit Cal's defensive vulnerabilities. Key receivers like Gadsden II and Pena, along with the versatile running back Allen, help create a balanced attack that can consistently move the ball. California has struggled defensively, especially under pressure, which gives Syracuse a legitimate opportunity to cover the spread in what should be a closely contested game. Prediction: Syracuse +9 points. Both teams have offensive strengths that point to a high-scoring game. McCord's efficient passing game helps Syracuse sustain drives and create frequent scoring chances. On the other side, Cal's wide receivers, particularly Endries and Hunter, have been key in stretching the field and contributing to their offensive success. With Cal's quick passing style and both teams showing proficiency in the red zone, expect multiple scoring opportunities throughout the game. Given the offensive firepower on both sides, the total is likely to go over the set number. Prediction: over 55.5 points. In this matchup between Sam Houston State and Kennesaw State, the Bearcats are the clear favorites and should dominate. Sam Houston State has shown themselves to be the superior team throughout the season, and with the Owls allowing 35.0 points per game over their last 5 contests, it's hard to see them keeping up. The Bearcats have been stellar defensively, giving up only 5.0 points in their last 2 games, and Kennesaw State's offense, led by quarterback Davis Bryson, has struggled with consistency and turnovers. With the extra rest, Sam Houston has not played in over 2 weeks. They should come out strong and cover the large spread. Prediction: Sam Houston State Bearcats -16 points. As for the total, both teams have struggled offensively in recent weeks. Sam Houston State has averaged just 11.0 points in their last 3 games, while Kennesaw State has averaged 20.3 points over their last 4. Both teams also struggle with third down conversions. Sam Houston is 52 of 134, 38.81%, and Kennesaw State is 53 of 143, 37.06%. Given the lack of offensive firepower from both sides, it's reasonable to expect a low-scoring affair, and the under is a strong play. Prediction: under 42.5 total points. In this Big Ten matchup, Penn State comes into the game as a heavy favorite against Purdue, having dominated the series with a 16-3-1 record. Purdue has had a tough stretch, facing top-ranked teams in 3 of their last 4 games, including a loss to Illinois in overtime. However, they've been outmatched by ranked opponents, with an average loss margin of 46.3 points in their 3 other defeats. Penn State's powerful rushing attack, which ranks among the best in the country, should have a field day against Purdue's porous rushing defense, allowing 199.9 yards per game. Penn State has a strong track record against Purdue, going 9-0 SU and 5-3-1 ATS in their last 10 meetings. Prediction: Penn State minus 28.5 points. When these two teams met in 2022, they combined for 66 points, hitting the over against a 53.5 point total. However, this time around, the situation is different. Penn State's offense, while efficient, has only scored over 35 points once this season, and their heavy reliance on the run game could slow the pace of the game and keep the clock moving. Purdue has struggled to move the ball, especially after being shut out by 2 of the top defenses in the Big Ten, and Penn State's defense ranks 3rd in the conference. While Purdue may not be shut out again, they are unlikely to put up enough points to push the total over. Given the under trend in recent matchups between these teams, I'm taking the under on the total. Prediction: under 50.5 points. In this American Athletic Conference matchup, South Florida enters as a slight favorite and comes into the game with strong trends in their favor. The favorite has won each of USF's last 9 games, and the road team has covered the spread in 7 of their last 8. Offensively, South Florida holds the edge, ranking 66th in rushing yards per game and 77th in passing yards, while defensively, they allow 32 points per game compared to Charlotte's 35.3. South Florida's solid overall performance should give them the advantage, so I'm leaning toward them to win straight up. Prediction: South Florida moneyline. With both teams struggling defensively, combined they have allowed an average of 67.3 points per game this season. While both offenses have had their issues, this game has the feel of a potential bounce back for both teams, especially given their recent low-scoring games. Expect both teams to find some offensive rhythm, making the over a good bet. Prediction: over 52.5 points. In this matchup, Louisville is set to face Stanford, and while both teams have struggled against the spread, the Cardinals come into this game as clear favorites. Stanford has been in a tailspin, with key players like quarterback Ashton Daniels and wide receiver Alec Iomanor potentially eyeing the transfer portal. The team's focus seems to be shifting toward the future, especially after Daniels left the last game with an injury, further suggesting that the current roster is not entirely locked into this season. On the other hand, Louisville is well-positioned to capitalize on Stanford's struggles. Despite the long trip and time change, the game's early start time will likely benefit Louisville, and the sunny weather is ideal for their high-powered offense led by quarterback Tyler Shaw. With Stanford's defense struggling to keep up, especially with the big plays that Louisville thrives on, the Cardinals should be able to cover the large spread. Prediction: Louisville minus 20 points. As for the total, these two teams are opposites in terms of trends. Louisville has been a solid bet to the over, 6-3, while Stanford has been the opposite, 6-3 to the under. The large 58.5 point total suggests a high-scoring game, but Stanford's style of play, focused on the run with a dual-threat quarterback, will likely work to shorten the game and keep the clock running. Additionally, Louisville's strong defense may put the brakes on late-game scoring, as they won't need to run up the score given their current standing and playoff prospects. Given these factors, the under seems like the more prudent option. Prediction: under 58.5 points. In this matchup between Oregon State and Air Force, both teams have been struggling recently, with the Falcons snapping a 5-game losing streak and the Beavers on a 4-game skid. Air Force, known for their dominant running game, faces an Oregon State defense that ranks 102nd in the nation against the run, which plays right into the Falcons' strength. On the other side, Oregon State has had trouble scoring in recent games, totaling only 20 points in their last 2 contests, but they'll look to rely on the ground game to limit turnovers and control the clock. Air Force also struggles defensively against a run, ranking 97th in the nation, so Oregon State should be able to move the ball effectively on the ground. This should be a close, run-heavy game, and Oregon State will likely come out on top, covering the spread and snapping their losing streak. Prediction: Oregon State minus 4 points. As for the total, both teams heavily favor the run game, especially Air Force, who ranks second to last in passing yards per game. This will likely result in a slower-paced, lower-scoring game, as both teams will try to control the clock and limit possessions. Oregon State should have success running the ball, and Air Force, while capable of putting up points in their last game, will struggle to replicate that success against the Beavers' defense. With both teams focusing on the run, the under seems like a safer bet. Prediction: under 54 points. In this matchup between Virginia and Notre Dame, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish are clearly the stronger team, and the minus 23-point spread is quite enticing. Virginia is coming off an emotional win against Pitt, where they snapped a 3-game losing streak with a 24-19 victory. However, after pouring everything into that upset, it's hard to see them maintaining that energy against a highly motivated Notre Dame team. The Irish, ranked number 8 with an 8-1 record, have been dominant in their recent games, including blowout victories over Navy and Florida State. With college football playoff aspirations on the line, Notre Dame will be looking to make a statement, and their home crowd will add to the intensity. Virginia's offense, led by quarterback Anthony Calandria, has shown promise, but he has struggled with turnovers, especially when under pressure. Notre Dame's defense, one of the most disciplined and aggressive in the country, should capitalize on those mistakes and create short field opportunities, leading to multiple scoring chances. Given the Irish's offensive depth and the Cavaliers' lack of firepower, this looks like a game where Notre Dame controls the tempo and covers the large spread. Prediction: Notre Dame Fighting Irish minus 23 points. As for the total, while Notre Dame will likely score plenty, Virginia's offensive limitations and potential turnovers will hinder them from putting up enough points to push the total high. Notre Dame's defense is strong enough to keep the Cavaliers in check, and the game's pace should slow as the Irish establish a commanding lead. Therefore, the under seems like a solid pick. Prediction: under 50.5 points.